Hello English lovers, how are you doing? I hope you'll be doing great. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the structure of sentences, which is the lesson 10. Okay, so let's get started. So there are structure of sentences which is divided into 5 structures. Okay, the structure of sentences is divided into 5 structures. Alright, the first one is subject and verb. The second is subject, verb and object. The third one is subject, verb, complement. The fourth one is subject, verb, adverbial, and the fifth one is subject, verb, object. And object means it will either be an indirect object or direct object. In the same way, it will either be a direct object or indirect object. Alright, okay, so let's start the first structure, which is subject, verb, phrase and verb. Okay, we are familiar with the verb, but what is verb phrase? Verb phrase will be made up of helping verb and the main verb. Okay, helping verb and the main verb. It will be called the verb phrase. Alright, so the structure contains subject and verb. For example, she left. So in this structure we have a subject and we have a verb, left. Okay, subject and verb. Only subject, she, and a verb, left, is used in this sentence. So this is called the first structure. In the same way, subject and verb. Okay, so we have only two things, subject and verb. Okay, the third sentence, they won. They, subject, won is the verb. Okay, so we have only two things in this structure, the subject and verb. Okay, now is something different, like he is laughing. So what is the difference? He is a subject and is laughing is a verb phrase. Okay, like I said before, it will be made up of helping verb and main verb. So helping verb and main verb. So he is laughing is a verb phrase. Okay, the fourth one I have written. So I is a subject, have written is a verb phrase. Okay, have written is a verb phrase. It is a helping verb and it is a main verb. Helping verb and main verb. So I hope it is clear. Okay, so it was all about the structure first. Now let me explain what is subject structure 2 is all about. So in structure 2 we have subject, verb and verb phrase and object. Okay, we have three things: subject, verb phrase and object. It is both the same and the object. Okay, for example, this structure contains subject, verb and verb phrase and object. For example, she's reading a book. She is a subject. Okay, she is a subject, is reading is a verb phrase, and a book is an object. Alright, so it is the subject, verb and object. This is called the structure 2. In the same way, the second sentence we have she ate a mango. She, okay, she is a subject, verb, ate is a verb, and a mango is an object. Alright, so she ate a mango, so this is the object. The third one I have you, subject, are watching, verb phrase, and TV is an object. So it is very simple sentence and very common sentence. Sorry, structure of sentence, because we have only subject, verb and object. I hope it is clear. Okay, so let's talk about the third one. Alright, in the third one we have subject, stative verb and complement. Okay, so what is subject? We know what is subject, but what are the stative verbs and the complement? It is something different. For example, what is the meaning of complement? Complement means to complete a sentence. Okay, it means to complete a sentence. It will be used to complete the sentence. For example, the first sentence I have she is. So what is she is? She is intelligent, she is a teacher, she is sad, she is ugly, she is beautiful. What is she? So for that reason we have to use a complement to complete this sentence. Okay, so we need something after is, okay, to complete this sentence, and we will put the complement, and that's why we use complement here to complete the sentence. So if I write the same sentence, she is intelligent, so intelligent is a complement. Okay, it is a complement because it is completing sentence here, and that's why it is called the complement, because it is giving us a full meaning and it is a completing sentence. Okay, so I hope it will be clear now that what is complement. Remember, complement will be made up of either noun, adjective, or both adjective plus noun. For example, she is a teacher, so she is a subject, is a stative verb. Okay, is a stative verb, and teacher is a noun. and it will be a complement. Okay, a complement will be made up of noun, adjective, adjective plus noun. So here we have noun. Okay, in the same way, she is intelligent. She subject is stative verb, intelligent is an adjective. Okay, it is an adjective. And like I said before, we will use either noun, adjective, or both adjective plus noun. The third one, okay, in the same way we have another sentence. She is an intelligent teacher. She subject is stative verb, intelligent adjective, and teacher is a noun. So it is adjective and noun. It is a complement. Subject, stative verb, and complement. I hope it is clear now because it is completing sentence. Let's explore some more sentences. She is sweet. So she is a subject, a stative verb, sweet is an adjective, and it is complement. Okay, complement. You are nice. You subject or stative verb, nice complement. I subject, am stative verb, busy complement. Aisha is a teacher. Aisha subject is stative verb, teacher is a complement. He is my father. He subject is stative verb, my father is a complement. She subject is stative verb, my wife is a complement. And what is my is an adjective. Okay, it is determiner, and determiner is always supposed to be an adjective. Okay, so my father is a noun and it is an adjective. In the same way, wife is a noun and my is an adjective. So it is also called pronoun, but it is also called adjective pronoun because it is always used before the noun. So father is a noun and my is an adjective here, and wife is a noun and my is an adjective here. Okay, so she is my wife. This is a complement sentence. I hope it is clear because the complement is made up of either adjective, okay, adjective, or a noun, teacher, okay, or both, my father or my teacher or my wife or beautiful wife, etc. So these are all the complement sentences because it's completing sentences. I hope it is clear. Okay, in note, what we have in note, for example, we will use either an adjective or noun phrase at the end of a sentence right of the stative verbs. The same thing. Okay, the same thing. What is a noun phrase? Noun phrase, when noun is modified by other words, it is called the noun phrase. We know what is noun. Noun is a name of person, thing, place, and idea. But what is a noun phrase? Okay, for example, my dear teacher, my best friend. So my best friend is a noun phrase. My dear teacher is a noun phrase because it is modified by other words, because we're using best and my, we're using dear and my. So this is modified by other words and this is a noun. So it is called a noun phrase. Difference between noun and noun phrase. Okay, what is a noun? Man, wife, teacher, cat, etc. These are all the nouns. Okay, single name. But what is a noun phrase? When we put something with these nouns, it becomes a noun phrase. For example, nice man, it is a noun phrase. It is a man. When we put nice, it is a noun phrase. Wife, what if I put beautiful? So it is a noun phrase. Intelligent, teacher, when I put intelligent, it is called a noun phrase. Cat, when I put something as like article, and or no adjective, it is called a noun phrase. Okay, I hope it is clear now. Okay, let's talk about the fourth one. We have subject, verb, or verb phrase, and adverbial. Okay, we are familiar with the subject and verb phrase, but what is adverbial? We use subject, a verb, and adverbial. Note, adverbial will be made up of a prepositional phrase or an adverb. Adverbial will be made up of prepositional phrase or an adverb. Okay, for example, she is cooking in the kitchen. So she subject is cooking is a verb phrase. In the kitchen is a prepositional phrase, and they are called the adverbial. Okay, it is adverbial because it is made up of prepositional phrase. Then we have they are fighting on the battlefield. Their subject are fighting verb phrase on the battlefield is a prepositional phrase. Okay, because we have preposition and we have noun. We have preposition and we have noun. Okay, she's working in the office. She subject is working verb phrase, and in the office a prepositional phrase because we have preposition and we have noun, and this is called the prepositional phrase. Okay, and I will explain what is prepositional phrase later, but first you should concentrate on these sentences. Okay, she's walking slowly. She subject is walking verb phrase, and slowly is an adverb, and it is also called adverbial because Like I said before, adverbial will be made up of prepositional phrase and an adverb. So it is prepositional phrase, it is also prepositional phrase. In the same way, it is also prepositional phrase, but slowly is an adverb, but it is also known as an adverbial. Okay, she is speaking fluently. She subject is speaking verb phrase, and fluently is an adverb, and it is called adverbial. Alright, I hope it is clear. Very simple. Adverbial will be made up of prepositional phrase, or it will be made up of adverbs. So slowly, fluently, silently, carefully, etc. These are all the adverbials. Okay, note, an adverbial is made up of either a prepositional phrase or adverbs. Adverbs, we know that fluently, slowly, quickly, bravely, carefully, etc. These are all the adverbs. But what is a prepositional phrase? In the kitchen, on the battlefield, in the office, when a preposition is modified by other words like noun, it is called a prepositional phrase. Okay, this is prepositional phrase. On the wall, etc. These are all the prepositional phrase. I hope it is clear now. Okay, the last one but not least, we have subject, verb, and object plus object. Okay, it will either be a direct object or indirect object. In the same way, it will either be a direct object or indirect object. Subject, verb, object, and object. In this structure, we use subject, verb phrase, and indirect object and direct object. For example, she is giving me her book. She is a subject, is giving is a verb phrase, me is an indirect object, and her book is a direct object. Remember, the direct object will always be something that we will receive. Okay, we will receive from other person. So what is she receiving? She's receiving the book, her book, so it is a direct object. Okay, she's giving me her book, so me is an indirect object because it is receiving something, and that is a book, and that book is a direct object. I hope it is clear. The second one, Aisha is taking him to her house. So Aisha is a subject, is taking is a verb phrase, and him is an indirect object, and to her house is direct object because it is the end product. It is something which ends the sentence. Okay, which completes the sentence. Aisha is taking him where? Okay, there should be a place, like it is Aisha is taking him to the college, university, to a restaurant, anywhere. So we need something here to complete the sentence, and it's a direct object. Okay, so we have two objects, indirect and direct object. Note, remember, the direct object will always be a non-living in this case, and the indirect object will be always a living. In most cases, I mean a lot of cases, we see that the indirect object will be a living. Okay, just like living and living, it will always be a living thing when we talk about the indirect object, and the direct object will be non-living. Okay, just like her book is a non-living thing, her house is a non-living thing. She is giving him he's giving her some flowers is a direct object, which is non-living thing. So in the same way, just remember, the indirect object will be in most cases the living, while the direct object will be non-living. So I hope it is clear, and it brings me to the end of this lessons. I hope it is clear, you understood all the structures, and still if you have any confusion, any problem, so you can talk to me through comment sections, and please like and subscribe my channel. Love you so much. Bye, take care.